If you look at your research article is meant to answer four things, four critical questions. These questions is the question of what, the how, the why, and the which. If you are proposing to do a research, you must have at the back of your mind, these four questions. The what is what have you done? While you're writing your research paper or your research article, it must be able to answer what have you done. If I read your research article and I cannot find, I'm still asking what have you done, then it has been poorly written. Because of course, before you start doing your research, you must have a background to it. That is why in your introduction, the first thing you must discuss is the background. Now, let me dwell more on what have you done. What have you done? To avoid the problem of doing a research, wasting your time doing research, and at the end of the day, people will be asking you that you are just repeating the existing work. You must do what is called review. Review is one of the types of publication people publish in our journals. People don't know the value of review, because review takes you to the body of knowledge the existing body of knowledge, and able to give you where there's vacuum to fill. So for a good researcher who wants to write a good research paper, the first point to start is to go into review. For example, now you've come for a study, maybe in Korea as we are, or somewhere else, and you want to navigate your way into what kind of research should you do. The first thing you should do is to go online, go to the library, go to wherever, start looking for where there's a vacuum in your area of interest. And you have to do this, through review. Review is going to collections of, just be searching, reading paper, in your area of interest. And you take carefully be looking for where is the vacuum? Where does the knowledge stop? Where can you come in? Which gap can you fill? So while you are doing this review and you are navigating your way moving towards where you are going, you can now put all you have read together and write a review. You are writing a review having studied so many papers. So from the review you have gathered and you have written, then you can now sit down and be able to take your own position where you want to navigate your research. So to answer what have you done, so that you not replicate somebody else's work, your researcher must answer it. It's very key. Second question is, how do you go about it? You must be able to find out how can you achieve your aim. There are different ways you can approach your research, because for example, if you do a good science, you do a good research, it's still very likely that particular research will not be accepted. Let me give an instance. You've gathered your data, and where you want to analyze your data, because this is talking about how did you go about it. This talks about the analytical tools, or the way by which you have gathered, your data. You have carried out your research. So somebody, after getting your data, somebody wants to analyze the maybe relationship between maybe a particular data to get an output. You want to find relationship between this set of data to give you an information from that data. You can use SPSS. You can use artificial neural network. So if you use SPSS, you might not get your paper accepted, because even though they do the same thing, they can do regression analysis or regression function. You can do regression analysis with SPSS, and you can also do it using ANN. If you use ANN, your paper is likely to be readily accepted than using SPSS. Not because you are not getting the same result, but because the tool you are using is probably, substandard to what is actually going on in the world today. So how do you go about doing your analysis is very key. If you look at, let me give you an instance of an African country, or let me say Nigeria to be specific. So many papers that are written in Nigeria back home are not accepted, not because the papers are not quality, not because the team of the research are not of high value. The problem lies in the tools or the facility they use in doing the analysis. So when you have a good research, you have a good research team, you must have, a very good way and approach by which you can analyze your data. So it's very key. So the next one is, why do you have to, what is it? Why is it important? The next question is, why is your research important? Why should you do it? So all these particular components must be answered in your paper. Why do you have to do that research? Why do you have to do it? Why is it important in this world or to the community? So you must be able to answer in your research paper why. And lastly is, which result do you get? In your research paper, you must be able to discuss your result fully. Discussion of result is very key, because somebody might have gotten a result probably similar or in deviation from what you have gotten. You must be able to you have to define or discuss the correlation, the variance, and the agreement. And you can also cite references under result discussion. So these 4 things combined together make your research article.